Hi, Shan. Hi, Shan.
Hello, Judy.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah, good, darling. Good. How are you?
I'm good.
I
I'm good.
might just. Yep. Okay, take it away.
Awesome. Welcome everybody that can make it, and for those watching the playback today, we are talking today about your client follow-up. So I just want to put this into two parts if I can. Firstly, for those who are new and working on the client follow-up, as in, you've just talked about the product and shared the links, and then it's like, now what do we do? So that part of client follow-up, and then I also want to lead into, okay, so you signed them up and they handed you all their money, but what do you do to look after the clients in that sense of follow-up as well? So if I can start off with the first part. So you've had this amazing little chit chat, you've found a person, they're interested, you've given them the information, whether it be in a brochure or a link, or showing them however you work your business, whatever your structure or strategy is. So you've shared the information with them, you've organised the follow-up call, and you're like, great, what do I do now? I'm sure we've all had that moment of hesitation where you're like, oh, it's too scary, but it's okay, be brave, you can do this, I believe in you. So realistically, I have this little conversation with myself where I'm like, you know what? There's no point beating around the bush. You've done the hard work already, which is the sharing the information, all right? You've taken that leap of faith. You've shared it with the person. You've done the hard part. This is the easy bit because they already know what you're calling about or why you're catching up. I mean, there's, you still have that politeness in conversation and the chit chat because you're still building that relationship, but there's no point really sort of dawdling about it. So I kind of like to get myself into a positive mindset with them and bring them into this journey as well. What did they like about it? Use their own words. We had a beautiful meeting on Sunday. Pat, I'm going to use your new customer, and we asked her, what was she looking for, and the words that she used that she wanted to change, those are the words that I used back to reinforce, what would the products be able to do for her, and using her words and her language, saying that this would work in a sense because of A, B, and C. Using their vocabulary and their words will definitely gel with them because, number one, it shows that you've been listening to what they've been saying and you're trying to help them by giving them the solution to the problem. So I definitely recommend using their own words. And also letting them know that you'll be following along with their journey. So, I love keeping in touch with my people. When I sign them up, I let them know right from the word go, you're not in this alone. Feel free to tell me to bugger off at any stage if you don't want me interacting with you a lot. But I'm here for you. I want to know when your products get there. Like, I expect them to send me a message and I get excited about it with them. I let them build that excitement. And even if it's little things, like changing their kids' diets or something new happening, or, someone who's just happy to be able to have that little bit of energy in the morning to get up and not feel sluggish and unmotivated like they were before. It's little things, and let them get excited and feed on that and throw it back at them like, oh my God, that is amazing. That's so cool. Like, that must be changing your life. And I mean, it might be something small, it might be something major, but the fact that they've got someone to share the changes with, I think will really mean a lot to your customers as well. And the other thing is, I like to find out as part of that follow-up too, what do they expect from me? So if they want to be pushed hard, like if they want to do this shred 10 or a 28-day, whatever program they want to do, I'm happy to support them in what they need. But I need to know what my expectation is. How much do they want me to be in touch with them? How much pushing do they want me to help them with? You know, I have one lady where I check in with her every 3 to 4 days because she's actually away out at a camp at the moment, and she's trying to get her health up and running, you know, so that she's feeling better and looking better for her husband. Like, this is her personal project on herself that she wants to do, you know, to sort of make herself feel better. And she's like, look, I'm out of the game for about 4 or 5 days. I'm going to be away at camp, but I want to eat healthy. I want to use the shakes so that I'm not, you know, like I'm not eating stacks of food. And I kind of just want that push before I go out to camp. You know, I just want that someone, hey, you're going to make some great choices. You can do this, that, and that's all they want from me before they go out to camp. And then they just want someone to debrief with. How did you go? What could you do differently? What did you do? Like, you know, what kind of foods did you eat? They just want to have that conversation. And I mean, that's so easy, really. You know, and basic stuff like that. And you can just jump straight into it with the orders. And, you know, like if they're ready to place that order, the only question you've got to ask is, great, what address would suit you for me to send the products to? You know, like there's no really need to, like you said, you know, like beat around the bush about it. Just pop the order through, and then like you've done the hard part. You know, all the guys that say the fortune's in the follow-up, and it's not even the hardest part. I reckon the hardest part is when you jump in that first bit and you have that first conversation and go, don't hate me, but I'm going to throw Juice Plus at you. You know, like, you know, and you take that chance, and that's the hard part. It's not the follow-up. The follow-up's the easy bit because they already know what you're going to talk about. And sooner or later, you're going to bring it back up because they've shown you by accepting or committing to a time to talk to you or promising to watch a video or a clip or whatever. They've already shown you that they're partially in anyway. So that's the hardest part. So all you've got to do is call back or message back or whoever, you know, catch up for coffee when you say you're going to. And you're done and dusted. And that's the first part done, is following up and getting that order through. So then we move on to the other bit. So the next part, my friends, is how do you make that follow-up sexy? So here, I've been working on this all afternoon. So get excited with them, check in with them as you know, often as you can, even if it's just a small note in your diary, just a simple, hey, how you going? I try and make my contact 50-50 with my customers, 50% about the products and how they're going and their experiences, 50% just, you know what, you popped into my head today and I was thinking about you. How have you been? What's going on? What's new with you? You know, half of my client base are friends or family or very good acquaintances that I know. And the other part are people I have never met before. They might be in other towns, but the fact that I still check in with them and, you know, and I half the time, I'll be honest, I'm not actually thinking about them. I've written a reminder in my diary, touch base with such and such today. And I'll go through and every month or two, I'll write a note, touch base with, and I'll have like 5 names. You know, so 5 customers. So I'm doing this on a regular enough basis, and I'm prompting myself because it's in my DMO, like it's in my daily stuff in my diary. So they think it's random, and geez, I'm so nice and thoughtful. I've thought of them today. Not really. Secret squirrel business. It's in my diary, and it says you need to contact your people and see what's happening with them today. So that's kind of what I do. The other important thing I do is I make sure that I'm communicating with them often enough that, like, when I first started, I was so scared of talking to these people going, their next shipment's due. what happens if they cancel? Or, you know, like, how do you have that conversation? And I went, you know what, I'm going to put a stop to that right now before I get excited and you know, talk myself out of talking to that person that day. So what I do is when I've got, so I record when all my people order their or have their shipments in my diary, and then the 4 months I work out when their next one is due and then backtrack. So 30 days out for their next shipment, I contact them and I have that conversation. I'm like, hey, just wanted to let you know, like, next month on this day, that's when your next shipment's due. Is there any information I can send along at the same time, as if I'm actually sending the product out? Not really, but, you know, is there anything that you're interested in? You know, like, would you like me to send out some recipes for you? Or do you want some brochures sent out if you've got any friends that are interested in as well? So you're not only letting your customer know that the next shipment's coming up, you're doing a little bit more customer care and a little bit more, you know, let's spread the juice plus love in case they've got friends or family that have been asking. And I find people get a bit more excited about staying on because you've just given them a huge heads up, a couple of weeks worth of pays, that their next shipment is due out, because it's a little bit more with the postage and everything. So you've got that 30 days where they're like, oh, sweet, yeah, no, I'm cool as, I'm ready for that next shipment, bring it on, can we move the dates forward? You know, like, I'm happy to have those conversations, because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about what the customer wants. And if they've got heaps of capsules left and I can postpone or a shipment for like a week or two or a month or whatever they need, and the hardest thing I've got to do is have that little conversation, check in with head office, can I do it, yes or no, which is basically a yes. But I always like to just confirm with the customer, look, you know, yep, that's no dramas at all. I'll just double check with head office. That shouldn't be a problem, but I'll check back in with you and confirm it once, you know, I know what's going on. And it's basically, it's just working on talking to your customers and running your business in a professional manner where, I mean, you're in control of all the information, and like, it's really so important to just have that touching base with your customers. And I find it so much easier when you give them that heads up, the 30 days out. That is my biggest recommendation, because you're not having that conversation. That's exactly right, Judy. You can also let them know about new promotions, the Shred 10. You know, you can say, you know, like, for each of my customers that I'm going to talk to, you know, about their next shipment, we've got the Omegas and the berries at the moment. It's a great product if you're not on it already. I just want to let you know that they've unlocked that for a limited time. If you did want to try it, now's probably, or like within the next 2 weeks, something like that. You know, I'll give them a time frame. You know, if you've got anyone interested or you want to get back to me, that's totally cool. Have you still got all my details? Stuff like that. You know, I think we get so worked up in how we think people are going to react to us that I think we talk ourselves out of a lot of stuff, when really at the end of the day, it's human nature to want to contact people and communicate. And look, as long as you're listening to the customer and following through with what their requests are, it's such a simple business to run. It really is. So yeah, those are I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. So yeah, there's no point being around the bush. Get them in the positive mindset of what did you like about the product, or what resonated with you, and using their own words in the problem solution finding, and then letting them know that you'll be on the journey with them. And if you say that you're going to be on the journey with them, be on the journey with them. And I mean, you know, if you've got a hectic lifestyle, just be honest and say that. Like, I want to touch base with you. And I love the asking about the expectations. So you know where you're at and what you can or can't commit to at this stage. You know, you can be honest with your customer and say, look, I've got a lot on my plate at the moment. And it's one thing to say, oh, look, I'll do my best and just never talk to them, because that's how you're going to lose your customers. But if you can say, hey, I've got all on my plate, but I'll try and get you in like every, say, 2-3 weeks if you're one of those people that need a follow-up and a check-in and a debrief, or you know, a goal-setting session or something like that. I'm cool with all that. And I'll just write it straight in the diary, because otherwise I'll probably forget with my mum brain. The Amigas are working great for that, by the way. No more brain fog. Hello, Amigas. Yeah, so the other thing I do too, guys, is with the diary that I've got, so kind of like your 30-day grid, the other thing that I've found is if I can log down on what day my customer's shipment is due and what it is that they're sending out. So bear with me while I upside down this. So I've got, I'm not sure if you can see that. So for example, back in January, I had a couple of people at the end of the month there where they've put orders through, and I've written down, you know, roughly what the products are. So then, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip forward to when they're due again. So I write them down, and I've got, so in my diary, I've got the calendar set out as part of my diary, because I found this amazing little $9 bloody student diary thing. It's for assessments and stuff. So, but what I've done is, so I've gone through, so as I'm adding new customers in 4 months time, I've written it down. So I've got in January, and I've got them in May, and then I've got them, you know, another 4 months from that, another 4 months from that, so that I know as I'm building my client base and filling my residual income for my monthly payments, I know when everyone's payment. And you know what, if someone goes, oh, when's my next shipment due? I've already got that in my diary, and my diary comes with me everywhere. So if I don't have Wi-Fi, or I'm at work on a lunch break or something like that, I can grab my diary and I have the answer to their question right there. You know, the same thing is if I don't have my Wi-Fi on me or something like that, and then they're like, oh, you know, can you tell me what was ordered next? You know, if I've got a couple of customers where they've got different products coming in on different fortnights, I can tell them what their payments are, depending on what the products are that they've arranged for and stuff like that. Yeah, so, you know, if they're away from home or on the road or whatever, I've got one, he's a truckie, and he doesn't take a diary with him or a phone. He's like really bad at memory, you know, and he just flicks me through a message, hey, what have I got due on what day? Because he gets paid monthly as well. So, you know, and look, I'm happy to help him out. I can say, you know, your premium's due on the 20th, and, you know, the rest of the pack is back on the 8th, or, you know, it's not due until next month. You're cool. Stuff like that. It's whatever the customers need me to be to help them out and keep them on the product to help their health and their foundation. That's what I am. So pretty much that's all I do, guys. So yeah, the easiest part is the follow-up, guys. Start building your fortune. You can do it. It is the easy bit. The hardest part is you sharing at the start, taking that 5 seconds of courage to share it in the first place. That's you being brave. So let's get on to business now, guys, and rock it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Donna. Wonderful as usual. Does anyone else have any questions at all? You want to unmute yourselves, guys? Any questions for our beautiful Donna?
No questions. I was that thorough.
Covered everything too well, babe. No, we're all good, and we've just beat the warning before I get booted off soon.
Smooth walker.
Yeah, my particular favourite bit was you trying to make it sexy. I'm like, only Donna would try and make client follow-up sexy. She's like being an embarrassing mum. Just stop it.
Stop it.
All good. Thank you.
Super fun.
Thanks for everyone coming on. Lovely to meet you in well, face-to-face, Pat, not just through the photos. And how's everything going with it all starting off for Pat?
No, it's going good. I'm really enjoying it. And